Well, good morning. It's Randytbird out here in Arizona, May 7th, 2023. It's about 7:45 in the morning on a Sunday. Beautiful day. There's a little bit of high clouds there. That doesn't mean nothing. Ain't gonna rain or nothing. It's gonna be a nice day in the high 80s today. Nice and cool right now. In fact, making me wish I maybe put on a long sleeve shirt, but that's okay. It'll get warmer. So just out for a ride today and riding the Dyna. Hope you're all doing well and had a good week. And spring has sprung in your places and you're getting out for a ride. So I'm just out, no particular destination, no particular goal today except just to be out, and I've already started that. So I'm out dealing with work and family issues this week, and so now I'm free on the bike. Saw some big news from Harley-Davidson the last couple days. They have a couple new bikes out in their I don't know, call it Heritage Series or Legacy or whatever. I forget what they're calling it. Anyway, they got a whole new line of bikes in a special paint. The special paint looks kind of cool. Reminds me of the 1969-70 Ford products of that blue with the racing stripes. It used to be Ford called it Grabber Blue back in the day. And I remember lusting after those Mustangs back then, Mach 1s and the Grabber Blue or the Boss 429. I mean, things that were unattainable as a young guy, but it still were cool. I did have a 68 Mustang Fastback when I was 21 years old, 22. That was a cool car. Very cool car. And I wish I still had it. It'd be worth a ton right now. But I enjoyed riding. I put probably 120,000 miles on it back then and kind of wore it out. You know, American cars are pretty much done at 100,000 miles back in the old days. But now I kept it going until it was smoking and rattling. So, you know, and sold it cheap. Sold it for $900, if you can believe that, to a Hispanic. It looked like I was selling to the family because they all like took money. There was 4 or 5 of them. Only one spoke English, and he was the translator. And they all pulled money out of their pockets, and so I got paid the $900 in 5s, 10s, and 20s. And off they went with it. They were happy. I was happy, and we were moving on. Anyway, back to the Harley-Davidsons. The new paint looks really cool. They called it the Fast Johnny series, which I think, I know it's got history and everything, but it just sounds kind of weird to me. But anyway, they look pretty cool. They got that, like I said, the racing stripes, the white racing stripes with the blue paint. Looks really, really nice. It's about a $2,000 option on the Lowrider ST, and then it's like $4,000 something on the touring bikes. But you know, cheaper than a CVO. Speaking of CVOs, you know, I looked at some more pictures of them. I'll be happy to see them. I'll never be buying one, but I like the changes that they're making are very cool, even if it does piss off the traditionalists. You know, they don't want anything to change. They would still have kick starters and cast iron cylinders if it were up to them. But you know, time moves on, and they've got to cater to the folks that out there that are going to be their customers in the next 5 years, not those of us who are going to be dying in 10 years or 20 years or whatever. You know, it's Cadillac did a study years ago, and they were horrified to find out that their average buyer was 67 years old. That's a recipe for bankruptcy right there. And so anyway, they're trying to keep up with the times, and you know, more power to them. They're still going to sell stuff that the old timers like, so that's cool. That and their new, what they call Enthusiast series, is a 1968 style electric glide. They called it the Highway King. Not really my piece of cake. I mean, I think I can see where it will appeal to a pretty broad spectrum of folks that ride, especially the ones that are nostalgic about that style of bike. But as I recall, people took their electric glides back in those days and stripped a lot of that stuff off. You know, so, but, you know, that's cool. If you got any of those old standard electric glide parts in your garage, you're sitting on a gold mine. But they look kind of cool. I can see a buddy of mine up in Colorado might be in the market for one of those. You never know. Anyway, just out today and trying to enjoy the beautiful springtime Arizona. There's a big warm-up coming next week, so you know it's going to probably get back to 100 or close to. We only had the one day over 100 this year at a 102 last Sunday, but it really didn't feel too bad. It was a pretty nice day. I think it's only been in the 80s the second half of this week. It's been really nice. It's been real windy though. You know, it does get windy here this time of year. And I mean, when I say, I don't mean breezy, I mean windy. I mean like 25 to 30 miles an hour wind gusts, and that'll move you all over the road if you're on the bike. But anyway, well, I'm just getting started today, so I'm going to record some more later, but in the meantime, I'm just going to be appending this, and we'll be talking to you again in a little while. Hey, it's Randy. I'm back on a beautiful May 7th, Sunday morning. And I'm just out in the woods again, or the desert, we call it out here. You can call it woods if you want. There are trees. It's not just cactuses. Beautiful morning so far. Nice and cool. A lot of people out. I was just talking to some folks that are doing one of those, it looks like they have a bunch of Hummers and people take them out into the desert and drive them around the trails and stuff, and looked to be some foreign tourists from the languages I was hearing, and I was talking to a couple of their drivers and just talking about the desert, and it's always good. You meet a lot of people out here toward this place. There's a gas station out here that I get gas at a lot, and it's a kind of a crossroads for people headed out this way, so it's always interesting to talk to people, and we all share that same fascination with the desert, or just the state of Arizona in general. Little high clouds today, little high cirrus clouds. Beautiful that time of the year. It looks good. Silhouette of the mountains. What the heck is that? I think I got a raft on top of that vehicle, and the wind was catching it. It looked like a balloon on top of it. Oh well. Apparently I'm easily amused. A lot of bugs out today. I feel the little ones hitting my arms and my legs. The screen is doing a good job. This Road Warrior that I put on is doing a good job of deflecting them off my face shield, and my upper body creates a nice pocket of quiet air behind there, which is always nice, because with these high handlebars you're like a sail if you don't have something up front. And of course I could have taken the Heritage if I wanted, but I have a choice. It's awesome, and I really enjoy riding this Dyna. I've had a couple of them, and I've always regretted selling them when I traded up. I got excited about something new and let it go, but I finally got to the point where I can have two of them, and so I have my new 2022 Heritage, and then now I have my 17 Dyna, which is the one I several years ago traded in on a Road King, which was Road Kings and me just they don't fit. So nothing wrong with them. Awesome motorcycles, but they don't fit me. So me and my short stature and stubby legs and arms, they were always a lot of work. You know, people say, well, you know, when you're going on the highway, it's not bad. I said, no, and it isn't. It's actually great, but you still got to park them. You still got to move them around. You still got to try and squeeze them through the door in your shed or your garage. At the time, I had a shed, and it wouldn't fit. So that was interesting. Had to build a shelter for it outside. which was less than optimum, especially when we had a monsoon storm that blew it mostly away. We had to stand out there and hold it down for an hour while the winds were blowing. But anyway, you know, stories to tell. But now I have a garage. It's a beautiful day out here. The desert's still pretty green. The yellow flowers on the Palo Verde trees are in full bloom, and that's looking good. But the wind's been blowing a lot lately, so that will end that here pretty soon. They'll all be in the wind, and then we'll shift to summer mode real soon here. It got less than 3 weeks before June, and it gets hot in June and stays that way for 3 months. So all this green you see out here will be turning yellow and dry, and so we worry about fire season and everything. So people, be careful out here when you're driving, riding, whatever, shooting out here. Just be careful. Yeah, we don't want to burn this down. Not again. Hard to believe. Ow, man, a big ass bug just hit me. That hurt. Ow. Sorry about that, man. That one stung. I don't mean actually literally stung, but man, it hit me in the arm and that one hurt. Anyway, so much for that. I forget what I was going to say now. Oh, it's hard to believe Memorial Day is coming up here in the next, like, 3 weeks. Hard to believe. Man, they are out today. One just smacked me in the helmet, too. Ow. That one's going to leave a mark. Anyway, still pretty cool out. I'm surprised. It's a little after 9. And it's still pretty cool. It's nice. If you're headed all the way up the mountain today, you better have a coat, because it'll probably be in the 50s up there until later in the day. You get up to elevation of 5,000 feet here at Arizona, and the temperature drops by about 15 or even as much as 20 degrees, depending on the weather. If you have a rainstorm, even in the middle of summer, it could start out 100 degrees and be 55 if a monsoon storm blows through. So you can never go north without a jacket and cool weather gear. I hope my subscribers up and my viewers up in Canada are finally getting some good weather. Chad sent me pictures of Chad Grenera sent me pictures of him getting out for a ride some lake area up there, and where he lives in somewhere up there in Canada. I know the names of the provinces. I'm just not sure exactly where they're all at. Saskatchewan, maybe. Anyway, but thanks for the pictures, man. It's awesome to see that you're finally getting out after all that cold weather and snow. And thank you for putting your sticker on my channel sticker on your bike. It looks great, man. Thank you. And no wind today. It's pretty nice. A lot of people with their off-road vehicles out. I got a chance to drive one of those Can-Am X3s here last summer, and I was amazed at how well that they handled terrain. They got super long travel suspension, and it was awesome the way that thing handled. Of course, I was all nervous driving it, because I can't afford to buy somebody's $35,000 off-road vehicle, but it was fun to drive for a short time. And then later in the day, it got broken, so I'm glad it wasn't me. But, yeah, it was a really cool experience. If I ever win the lottery, you know, maybe I'll get something like that. It would look really cool. I mean, it was about as close you get as to driving a Baja racing vehicle. You know, it was cool. It's like one of those right there. Of course, then I'd have to buy a big truck and a big trailer, and I don't know. If I had the money to do that, I think I probably would, because I do like being out off-road. And I think my off-road motorcycle days are pretty much over. I get tired really quick out there, and when you get tired and you push yourself, you get hurt. You know, especially old guys like me probably break easy. But I still like being out there. I've got a nice Ford Ranger pickup, and I might go out and go shooting here sometime before it gets too hot, and maybe enjoy that, get out off-road a little bit. Although that Ranger is really rough off-road. It's not four-wheel drive, and it's the base model, so it has base model suspension. So anyway, it could use some coilover shocks in the front. When I priced them, I said, I don't think so. It'd be like more than $1,500 for upgraded shocks for the front of that vehicle, and I'd rather spend my money on motorcycles since it works fine around town. You can see the dust from the trails out there. That goes out to those Four Peaks Mountains out there, and that's very popular this time of year. People going out there. It's about, the trail goes up and over those mountains, and you can see the Roosevelt Lake on the other side, I'm told. I haven't been out there in a long time, and I've never been over the top, so you know. Mostly I've gone to the left up here, Sycamore Creek, and gone down in there. Looks like people are headed that way. I can't believe how many are out today. Trying to get the remainder of the cool weather under their belt before it gets really hot. Anyway, this is Randytbird out here in beautiful springtime Arizona. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, please do. I sure appreciate it, and love to see your comments, and love interacting with you folks from around the world, around the country. I hope you're getting out and enjoying things. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again.